When I mentioned to Wootware that my previous case, the Bitfenix Comrade, was on its last leg, and I was mainly using my test bench for my system at that point, they decided they had to do something about it. Enter my knight in satin black armor, the Phanteks Enthoo Evolv ATX chassis. Salvific hyperbole aside, the Phanteks Enthoo Evolv has earned a permanent spot on my desk as my chassis of choice. Let's find out what it has done to rightfully earn this honor. From the outset, the Phanteks Enthoo Evolv looks like a premium case with its soft angles, clear exterior, and understated but powerful presence. However, Phanteks has not only created a case that looks impressive, but also is designed that way as well. Instead of molding plastic to create its look, the Enthoo Evolv is a mixture of a steel chassis with an aluminum exterior to create a product that is just as sturdy as its looks suggest. On the front panel, there's a retractable cover that reveals the front I/O of dual USB 3.0 ports, mic in, audio out, and a reset switch, with the power button being located on the top of the chassis. Toward the lower end of the front panel, there's an illuminated slit that comes with a white LED pre-installed, but can also be swapped out for red, green, or blue with the included extra LEDs in the accessories box. Before I continue on with the rest of the case, Phanteks has done an amazing job at providing a simple and effective management of extra parts with the clearly labeled accessory box, as well as the additional plastic casing which hosts all of the screws that you'll possibly need for the building of your new system. The accessory box carries drive adapters as well as zip ties and the aforementioned interchangeable LEDs. Thank you, Phanteks, for making storage of extra parts a simple solution with the Enthoo Evolv. Now, getting back to the front panel, it's easily removable by pulling on the bottom portion, which opens up to reveal the full-length front dust filter, which cover the included dual 140mm Phanteks case fans. This front portion of the chassis can also support up to a 280mm radiator for all of your water cooling needs. To stay on the cooling aspect of the Evolv ATX, you have the front area for cooling, then room for a 140mm fan or radiator on the rear exhaust section, which Phanteks includes a 140mm fan there as well. Then there's the top removable bracket, which supports up to a 280 or 360mm radiator. The bracket slides out to allow you to install your radiator without getting in the way of the rest of your system. The side panels on either side are attached to a hinge, which allows them to swing out for easy access and still remain on the chassis. The left side panel includes an acrylic window, which lets you see the guts of your system in all of their glory. Since this system doubles as both my personal rig as well as my test bench for new components, my guts and cable management are a bit of a mess. But on the inside of the chassis, you have support for up to a full ATX motherboard and up to 7 expansion slots, which have reusable white covers. There's plenty of rubber grommets to manage your cables through, and on the back, Phanteks includes Velcro straps to allow for easy and clean routing. You'll also spot there 2 mounts for 2.5-inch drives, as well as 2 3.5-inch drives, which are conveniently hidden from the rest of the system. There's room in the entire chassis for up to 8 3.5-inch drives and 3 2.5-inch drives, with Phanteks including a mount on the front for visibility if you want to expose your SSD. There's also a fan management hub on the back, which allows for up to an additional 6 3-pin fans to be connected to your system. The power supply basement includes a cutout on the front to show off the PSU branding, and there's vent holes at the top as well, which allows for my Superflower PSU LEDs to shine through a little bit. And there's also an included removable dust filter for the power supply, which slides out fairly simply. As far as functionality, Phanteks provides pretty much anything that a typical user will need, with support for a bevy of different radiator configurations, a significant amount of drive supports with the included drive bay adapters, and a sturdy overall chassis. Aesthetically, Phanteks also has provided something that every system builder should appreciate, with the ability to hide everything that you don't want to see, with all of the cable routing options, separated PSU basement, and drives being placed at the back of the system. Configured correctly, the Phanteks Enthoo Evolv gives you the opportunity to make your system look the best it's ever going to look. That is, unless you're choosing to upgrade to their tempered glass version of the Evolv. But this isn't to say that the Evolv doesn't have any issues. The cable routing holes toward the bottom of the motherboard are much too narrow for me to easily get my cables through. And it's slightly strange why all of the slots to go to the back of the motherboard tray don't include rubber grommets. And then there's the fact that my chassis had the Phanteks brand sticker peeling off from the day I got it. But in perspective, those complaints seem silly and like I'm just trying to find something to complain about. The Phanteks Enthoo Evolv provides everything that I need in a chassis and gives me the opportunity to be proud of showing off my system, something that the Bitfenix case and my test bench didn't really afford me. I couldn't be more satisfied with this case, and I can't really find a reason why other people would be dissatisfied, unless you want a more eccentric design like hot pink side panels with zebra stripes, in which case you should look elsewhere. But if you want a case that doesn't compromise function for form, then the Enthoo Evolv has you covered. And with that conclusion, I'd like to thank Wootware and Phanteks for sending over the Enthoo Evolv for review. If you live in South Africa, Wootware is the only place that you'll be able to get your hands on any Phanteks chassis, including the Enthoo Evolv. Their wide variety of stock comes in at great prices, and their customer service team is simply world class. So if you're in South Africa and looking to upgrade your chassis, or otherwise, head on over to wootware.co.za to woot it up. And that wraps it up for this video on my review of the Phanteks Enthoo Evolv ATX chassis. Like this video if you found it helpful at all. Dislike it if you disagree with me or my conclusions. You can subscribe to stay up to date on all of my tech related content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.